Main Talk. Let's talk about hair. It's not your average conversation. It's not your average conversation about hair. Good morning, and welcome to this edition of Main Talk, Conversations About Hair, where every week we sit in the studio, we engage with our audience, and we talk about hair. Why? Because hair is a part of our everyday lives, and people don't even understand that it's part of our everyday lives. I'm your host, Deshaun Bullard, also known as the Hair Coach, and we have with us today our team Nuratress Keisha.
Hello, everyone.
And none other than Kai for maybe the last week, for about a couple weeks.
Good morning.
And I said that last week, and I'm saying it this week because we're going to miss Kai. Kai has to have vocal surgery.
And hopefully I'll sound clear after that, right?
Yeah, hopefully you'll sound clear. But you sound good to us right now with all the conversations about hair. Well, guys, last week we had an interesting conversation about children and hair care and how parents turn over hair care decisions to their children. And of course, we wanted to continue the conversation this week. One of the things that I want to say is there was it's important for us as parents. If you're listening and you're a parent and you have a child, it is very, very important for us as parents to take back the reins of our hair care. One of the things we discussed last week was that hair is generational.
Yes.
So we understand that however our parent taught us about hair, that's what we're going to mimic in our own lives. However, this generation is a little different because we use TV a lot as our role model on how we should wear our hair. So parents even get caught up in, I'm looking at Lil' Kim's hair, or I'm looking at, one of the basketball wives or the housewives of Atlanta, how they wear their hair. And so then, I see it every week. They come into the salon, right, Keisha? They got a picture like, I want my hair like XYZ. And so once you put
you
that
mean
in,
Nicki Minaj? You showed your age when you said Lil' Kim.
Okay. Right, Lil' Kim, Nicki Minaj. I didn't say Nicki Minaj because she generally, she's on a new movement now.
Yeah,
she's wearing her own hair.
And she looks nice. She looks softer.
Yeah.
She has some pieces in there.
She got some pieces, but it looks.
But the color. And she did that so she can open herself up to more roles, acting.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Because what we don't talk about is that you can't get jobs and you can't get things with pink hair.
Walking around looking like a cartoon character.
Exactly.
You can only be on the stage and sing with pink hair. That's it.
You are so correct. So she has changed that, and you're correct. She's changed it to open herself up for more roles. But I did show my age by saying Lil' Kim. And that's because at one point, Lil' Kim was like the role model of how every woman who wanted to wear weave came into the salon and how they wanted to wear their hair. However, what we don't understand is that as adults, that if you are natural, is your child natural?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you wear weave, the chances are your child is going to ask you for weave. If you wear color, the chances are your child is going to want to wear color.
That's right.
So we are the examples of how our children are going to want to wear their hair. I was having a conversation with a parent a couple of weeks ago. She has alopecia, and because she has alopecia, she has to spend the rest of her life with some type of hair weaving technique on her head. However, what she said was that because this was her life, guess whose life it was too? Her daughter's. And so now her daughter wears weave, and her daughter's like 12, and her daughter wears weave all the time. And when she came in to talk to me, I said, alopecia is your problem. Don't pass that down to your daughter, because it's going to become her problem if she's wearing weave every day, 365 days of the week. And I understand about people cheerleading and you can't do anything with their hair. But back in the day, we cheerleaded.
Absolutely.
We were cheerleaders. We played soccer. We played basketball. We played baseball. Now, it probably wasn't the cutest again, but we're children. Who are we trying to identify with?
That's right.
Okay, my cousin, Shay, you know Shay, her daughter is on a dance team. And she said the guy came over and was like, and her daughter has beautiful hair. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her daughter's hair, but she has beautiful hair. and he said he wanted all the girls to wear weave so they can sling their hair. But her daughter's hair is bouncy, is really, really pretty.
Right.
And she told him, no, Angel will not be wearing weave.
Right.
You know, I don't care what the other girls are doing,
Right.
but she's not going to wear weave. Why would you even suggest? Are you making these girls on this dance team feel like in order to be pretty out there while they're performing, that they have to have weave in their hair? And you're going to suggest to these young girls that they should put weave in their hair so they can sling it.
But I'm glad you said that, because that's the identification that the parents have. So we all know one of my favorite shows, well, not we all know, but listeners, one of my favorite new shows is Bring It. The dance show with the dancing dolls. And so all of those girls, the same thing. That all those girls, they sling their hair on the dance team and they wear weave, but however, it's a lot of it is clip-ins. So I do want to posture that I understand entertainment, for entertainment purposes, you could put some clip-ins in. My concern is that this is becoming a regular way of life for our children. Another incident, a parent came in, brought her daughter in, the daughter's hair was ate out around the edges, around the side, and the parent brought the daughter into the salon, and the parent said, well, I wanted to bring her in because her hair is breaking off. We can't do anything with it. Now she's embarrassed because she's been wearing weave for about 2 years. Now the girl was about like 11. And so I looked at the daughter. I said, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut your hair. I said, but we'll cut it in a style to make it seem as though that you did this on purpose. The daughter's face was frowning up, and the mother said, well, you know, she really only likes to wear weave, so we're going to have to talk about it. What do you think about it, baby? And she was just like shaking her shoulders like, I don't know. And she was like, well, is there an alternative? I said, the only alternative that she has right now is to cut it. If we want her hair to be healthy, we can cut it in a nice style so that it can grow back. And she said, well, we got to go home and talk about it. I was so furious. I was like, go home and talk about it. I didn't say that to them at the time. I just said, okay, well, take a card and leave. But it prompted me to even want to have this conversation today, that the mother never returned with the girl, because I'm sure the daughter just went back and said,
I'm not getting my hair cut.
I'm not going to get my hair cut. I'm going to put some weave in my hair. We are losing control as it relates to our children and how they wear their hair, and we must take back control. We're going to have more conversations about this topic when we come back.
Hey, Tammy! Girl, how did you get your edges to grow back like that?
Girl, Nuratress Edge Repair. I got so tired of not being able to wear my hair up like I used to. My edges were bald and embarrassing. I couldn't take it anymore, so I started using Nuratress Edge Repair. The intensive leave-in treatment is formulated with natural botanical extracts and green tea that help restore my edges. My edges were so damaged from wearing weaves and braids until I started using the Edge Repair, and my edges started growing back in no time. Nuratress also has vitamins too. The vitamins not only help your hair grow thicker, but also prevents hair thinning and hair loss. This is the best hair purchase that I could have ever made. But don't just take my word for it. Go ahead and try it out. You can purchase online at Nuratress.com. That's NOURITRESS.com. Again, that's NOURITRESS.com. Go get your hair back, girl, and start regrowing your hair now with Nuratress.
Welcome back to Main Talk, where every week all we do is talk about hair. Again, this week we are continuing our conversation about parental control, taking back parental control of our children and their hair.
When I was in the salon and parents would bring their daughters in, and the daughter would cry, I don't want to have short hair. And I would tell them, your hair is short.
Right.
You don't. What do you mean you don't want to have your hair is short in the middle? It's short around your edges, and then you got a couple of long strings. Your hair is short, so you're gonna have to have a haircut. But me personally, if they wouldn't get a haircut, I can't do it.
Right.
If I can't even it out, because you're not gonna walk around first of all and tell people that I did your hair, and it looks a mess. So if you didn't get a haircut, I wouldn't service.
But what do you think a parent should do as it relates to because guess what? We have parents that got HAI. You have parents that come into the salon, don't want you to pull the scissors out to trim their hair like we're going to die. I think the great thing about the natural hair movement is that it is a form of acceptance of accepting who we are as a culture, how our hair is kinky, and so that is a form, past the whole religion part of it. That, which is just my thought process, but it is a form of acceptance of, our hair. When I was a little girl, my mother, and I'm going to post this picture, my mother, I was in 2nd grade. My mother took me to the barbershop, and she shaved all my hair off like a boy. So I had a little fro. And when I got to school that morning, I put a cap on my head because I'm from Chicago, if we got any Chicago listeners out there. And I didn't want to take the cap off, so I sat in the classroom. And back then, it was corporal punishment in the school, so the teacher beat me pretty much, whooped me until I took the cap off. But when I came to the classroom, all the kids were saying, "Oh, baldy locks, where are your 3 bears?" And really, that was traumatic for me. In 8th grade, somebody put God may win and God may err, but when he made the shine, he forgot the hair. I mean, so so as a child, I do understand.
You were traumatized.
I was traumatized. The very reason why I am the hair coach today is, from having a degree in computer science and working in corporate America, switching into the beauty industry because of that traumatic experience as a child.
And hence is why we're having this conversation about parents not knowing what to do with their children's hair. Your mom was probably in that movement of...
She was. Black Power.
Black Power. So she was wanting to
Black
mimic
Panther.
You. That was her pride, your child.
And guess what? But she
have the short hair.
She had her hair. She wore her hair in a short afro, so she, passed that on to me. So that's why I say hair is generational. But as it relates to hair care, I think I didn't lose my hair over that. That was just a style. But I think the generation we're in now is we're in a danger zone while I'm wanting to pull this back, because now we're in a danger zone because children are making decisions about their hair that are unhealthy. It's like letting your child choose what she wants to eat. Mm-hmm. We see these parents, baby, what you want to eat? Mm-hmm. If we ask our children what they want to eat, they will never eat any vegetables.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Mm-hmm. I think, I'm really big about education. I think every entity in life is about educating. Doesn't mean you need to go to school and get a degree. It just means that someone needs to inform you. You need to read about it. You need to listen, but you need to understand why things happen. What's your hair? How do I take care of it? So everything is about educating. And if parents are more educating their children, and then when they give the children the choice, then they'll make more educational sound answers, give more sound answers. But they're not educating them. They're just going by what they see. And if we go by what we see, we'll be looking crazy.
Right.
What if all the kids said I wanted pink hair? Like we were talking about the little girl.
Right.
She wanted pink hair, correct?
Exactly.
What if all the kids wanted pink hair?
Mm-hmm. Right. And even with the pink hair ordeal, what happened with that was there was a child whose mother is Caucasian, the grandmother is Caucasian, the father is black, but the young girl is raised by her Caucasian mother and grandmother, and she's the only one in the house with kinky hair. So her identification was with her Caucasian mother and grandmother. So she told them, Grandma, I want my hair to look like yours. And for those listening, you can see this on the Doctor's TV website. So she said she wanted her to look like her grandmother's. And what happened was the grandmother went around to try to find a place that can put hair extensions in her daughter's hair. And not only just put hair extensions in her granddaughter's hair, who was 8 years old. The grandmother's hair was red, and the granddaughter wanted her hair pink. So they went and put pink hair extensions in an 8-year-old's hair. But when she went to school, it was so much, she was bullied because people were laughing and they were teasing her. And what the kids started doing was just pulling on her hair. They did not know the extent, the parents and the grandparents did not know the extent of the bullying until one day they went to hug the child and they smelled something and they saw that they had been pulling her hair so much that now it was infected. And so now we have an 8-year-old girl who has no hair in the top, who has to have a hair transplant. Why? Because if someone was to pull our hair like that, it may come out, but it will grow back. But her scalp is not ready to receive this type of tight braids and treatment and weaving. So the constant pulling at 8 years old even infected her scalp.
But guess what? Obviously, they were not taking her back to the salon where she got it done because the hairstylist would have known.
Right.
So they probably wasn't shampooing it or she probably was getting in the shower, wetting it, and you know those braids up under that sew-in
Can get mildew.
It can get mildewed, and that's probably how it got infected. So, but the stylist should have informed, you know, because they didn't know,
Right.
you know, because I'm pretty sure they wasn't wearing sew-ins.
At
they
8
should
years
have-
old, though,
yeah.
putting, you know, and I think as a stylist, it's kind of hard because we're in a position where I always say that the person who pays is the boss. So even as a stylist, we're the servant. The clients, they're the boss. So I think as customers who are listening, we are put in a position where we want to please. We want to give you what you want because you're paying for what, you know, we're here to provide you what we ask for. But now we're in a constant state where people are looking on YouTube, as we talked about before, and looking at how other people do hair and then coming to the salon and trying to give the stylist advice. We must get back to consultation because that's what we do in the beginning. You have to come into the salon, get a consultation, listen to the professional, but more importantly, there's some things that I think parents should look for when they walk in the salon. Make sure that there is a license on the wall because people would not believe the number of people who are working in salons who are not licensed. And in the state of Georgia especially, well, not in the state of Georgia, United States of America, in order to perform cosmetology services, you have to be licensed. So when you come in and ask for a consultation, look for a website for that salon. Find out the background, if you can, on the stylist before you come in with the consultation. We have more conversations about hair when we return.
Hey, what's wrong?
Man, my hair is just falling out.
You should try this product my wife found in a hair magazine because she was going through the same thing. Her hair was thinning and breaking, but now it's growing like crazy. It's all thick and healthy, too.
What's the name of it?
It's Nuratress.
Nuratress.
That's right, Nuratress. She's so hooked on it, even I can tell you where to get it from. Call 1-888-489-0179. Pick it up at your local beauty supply store or order online at Nuratress.com.
I can't wait to go to the store. Hand me the phone. I'm about to call and place my order right now. What's the number again?
1-888-489-0179. That's 1-888-489-0179. Or remember, you can just go online to Nuratress.com. That's Nuritress.com.
Hey, thanks for the info.
Welcome back to Main Talk, where we have conversations about hair every week. And this week, we are talking about children's hair and parents taking back control over a child's hair. Kat, you said you...
Yeah, I had a question. You were talking about the license and who should have it. I was going to take Nia to get her hair braided, and a young lady told me she does natural hair and she doesn't have to have license. So I just wanted to ask you, do you have to have license so the audience can be educated? Do you have to have license if you do natural hair?
Yes, you do. At first, there was a point in the state of Georgia especially where if you went to a lot of the African braid shops, which a lot of them service children and put those braids, those tight braids in their hair, a lot of those, they were not licensed. But what happened was so many kids were losing their edges, as we see now. So many kids' edges are gone. The edges start back, further than it's supposed to be. And they were coming in, putting braids on kids' hair who was even too soft. They were braiding hair and the scalp would be bleeding and they didn't know what to do. So because of this huge hair loss epidemic in kids and parents and adults alike, the state mandated a license and they called it a hair designer's license. So it's what I have and what Keisha have, we have master cosmetology license, and master cosmetologists can do everything. We can relax, we can color, we can cut, we also can do nails, we can do eyebrows, we can do makeup. Master cosmetologist is just that. Then now you have a hair designer's license where all you could do is, you can't apply any chemicals, it's mainly just for braiding. So
that's no color.
So that's no color, that's nothing. It's just hair designing, no chemicals or anything, because they didn't learn that. So her saying she didn't have to have a license, that's untrue. The only thing that you don't have to have a license for in the state of Georgia that they changed was now if you are going to be a shampoo assistant, you don't have to have one.
But I think you still have to send in the paper, right?
Yeah, you have to send in who your shampoo assistant is going to be, but you no longer are required to have a license. They used to make you apply for a shampoo assistant license. But even as a shampoo assistant, there's still things that they're not supposed to do. They're not supposed to relax. They're not supposed to color. Although we see it over and over and over and over and over again, I have also been guilty. So I'm not going to sit up here like I am a saint, but I have been guilty. But you are not supposed to do that unless you are licensed. No chemical services are supposed to be performed. So you are correct. If you are standing in an establishment, serving customers in a retail environment, you must have a license to some type of license, either a hair designer's license, a barber's license, or a master cosmetologist license. So you want to make sure when you go into an establishment for your child or for yourself that you look for that.
Well, I know going back to, the parent making the decision, I know even with food that growing up in my house, if my mom fixed a meal and you said you didn't want it, you just didn't eat.
Yeah, same thing. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You could not go in there and fix a sandwich.
That's right. Same thing.
She
Exactly.
would
There was
tell
no
you-
alternative.
There was
There's
no
no
alternative.
alternative. Exactly.
And I know I'm guilty of it if what I do, if my kids be like, I don't want that, I don't know what you're going to eat.
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
right.
I say this is what we're having today.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know, because I don't like liver, and my mother was a big liver.
me
She
either.
cooked liver, and if I say I didn't like the liver, she just said, well, go to sleep. This is what my mother used to say, go to sleep. When you wake up, you won't be hungry. No. She said, go to sleep, because when you sleep, you won't be hungry.
Okay.
Right. So either you're going to eat the liver or you don't. So we do have to make sure that we take back control of our hair care with our children, because this is very, very important.
And children want to be parented.
They do.
Parents think they want to make decisions. Children do not want to make decisions. They want to be parented. They want to have guidance. And it is our jobs and our roles as parents to prepare them for the world once they leave our house. And that includes their hair.
We just had that conversation, me and Shay, again, this morning about children. They know when it's out of love. Right. They know when it's out of love. So they know when you're telling them or you're fussing at them, they know when it's out of love. They know when you're mistreating them. They know the difference. So you're right, Kai. They do. They want to be parented.
And they want to be parented with their hair. Because as I stated on our last show last week, my favorite lyrics to a song is, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And this time, we're going to let them lead the way with their hair. We have to have healthy hair techniques for our children and healthy hair techniques for the parents. So we want you who are listening to engage with us. Go on our Facebook page at Main Talk Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Main Talk On Air. Follow me at DeshawnBullard.com, or you can get more information about our products. If you have any questions about hair and you want to ask us questions about your child's hair, hit us on Facebook. Send us a message. We have licensed professionals at Nuratress Products who will help you with all of your hair care needs, from children to adults. Our whole goal is for you to have healthy hair. We're not prejudiced whether you have relaxed or natural hair. That is your choice. And if you listen to our show from week to week, you will know that we are really for healthy hair. We don't care what your choice is, whether you decide to lock up, twist it up, braid it up, everything except for glue it up. But even if you glue it up, we want your hair to be healthy. Keisha, you got any last things to say?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Miss Head to Toe, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Miss Head to Toe, and also at H2T Mag.
And Cal, where can they find you?
You cannot find me, so please don't look.
Well, this concludes this edition of Main Talk. Engage with us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your aunts and your uncles to listen to us every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. As we talk about hair. We'll see you guys next week as we continue our conversations about hair.
Are you experiencing hair thinning, hair shedding, hair breakage, or hair loss? The Nuratress Perfect Hair Vitamins Plus is for you. Most people don't understand that in order to achieve thick, full, healthy hair, it must be done internally. Nuratress Perfect Hair Vitamins are packed with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, biotin, and folic acid, which feeds the hair follicle from the inside and makes the hair longer, stronger, and fuller as it grows out from the hair follicle out to the scalp. So if you desire longer, stronger, faster growing, thicker, healthier hair, then order Nuratress Perfect Hair Vitamins or Nuratress Perfect Hair Vitamins Plus today. Call 1-888-489-0179. That's 1-888-489-0179. 888-489-0179 or online at nouritress.com. That's NOURITRESS.com.